one at that. So please get on your sweaters if you can. But see, I am freezing in the studio. I'm just managing.
Wow.
Well, we discussed debate and talk about some of the big stories that made headlines from, Rivers, defection, socials, politics, Adeleke defecting, and then clinching the tickets of the Accord Party. And then we see the division in Osun State as well, too. That of the APC, the division there. All of those, we'll discuss all of those on the program this morning. Our custom, again, the big story this morning, again, is the Senate, a bit angry, expressing a bit of anger as to, the way the directive of the president is being carried out as to, withdrawal of, escorts from VIPs. We discuss that as well, too, on the headline news analysis. I'm not alone, my colleagues are in the house. Good morning to you, Danielle.
Good morning to you, Dio. Thank you for joining us on the headline news analysis. Good morning, Nicholas. How are you doing today, and how's your trip down here?
Well, good morning, our listeners out there. Well, my trip here has been very cool, chilly, like Dio just said. Yeah, and it's wonderful, considering the heat we've been
it looks like the Hamatan is setting in.
Yeah, and I wish it settles in quickly.
Faster.
Yeah,
okay.
faster than.
In some parts of the city, they're beginning to experience
Yeah, exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my part of the city.
All right. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 or the staff therein, but as expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye, and any of the individuals who call on the show this morning. The number to call is 0807-777-9927. Again, 0807-777-9927. Please remember that you have a space of 60 seconds, 1 minute, to make your comment about any of the stories that will bring to your ears this morning, the ones we brought to you at 7, or anyone you see in the national dailies you'd like to talk about. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at FlowFM 97, so you can get on either of these platforms and get another live action happening in the studio this morning. Let's get right into the stories. Just like my colleague just stated, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday restated his directive for police officers attached to VIPs to be withdrawn and reassigned to core policing duties, and was expressing displeasure over the slow implementation. Speaking ahead of the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, where he instructed the Minister of Interior to work with the Inspector General of Police and the Civil Defense Corps to immediately replace withdrawn escorts when necessary, while the NSA and DSS were tasked with issuing further guidelines to ensure full enforcement amid rising kidnapping cases.
Well, if you recall, the last time that directive was restated by the IGP, he did say that now that they have the presidential backing, it's going to be easier. So what I expect the President Tinubu to have said this morning is to issue a warning to the IGP, because if he cannot control his men, then he's no good being an IGP. And don't forget that there were contradictions. The other time he said it was 11,600 thereabout that has been withdrawn so far, and there were records that show that we have over 100 and something people that are attached to VIPs. You understand? So there's still a gap, and that gap is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is hinting at. So I think he stopped short. I think what we need to hear more is about the Riot Act, and in fact making a scapegoat of some officers that appear to have been, that have been working at cross purpose, and betting against the administration on this particular issue.
That's something that Senator Abdul Ningi was talking about making the House of Assembly the scapegoat and not withdrawing VIPs from police escorts from other VIPs.
Well, actually, we're on a lighter note. Well, this is just comic anyway, but honestly, I wonder why he's worried that he's shown a lot of issues, shown that much concern that his orderly was withdrawn. After all, they are representative of the people, and what better security do you have than the people that you represent? But on a serious note, I think he has spelled out the contradictions there. It appears as if it's the lawmakers that are feeling the pinch, feeling the heat of that policy. And honestly, the Deputy Senate President Barrow, instructed the Committee on Police Affairs, yes, to investigate. That investigation must be thorough, and they must let the public know where exactly the directive is falling short. Where in terms of withdrawing the personnel, and to a very large extent, this is something that we have been calling for a very long time. Or what you are seeing now shows how much the IGP's orders over the years have been disregarded.
Exactly what I was going to ask you. That does if not that the president came out to give that directive, and the IG, I recall that the IG has said over time that police attached to VIPs should be withdrawn, but that order wasn't carried out.
It wasn't. You see, that tells you. See,
what does that say about the police and following the order?
The structure is rotten. That is the simple truth. This is supposed to be a command structure. At the very least, it's supposed to be a command structure. Being a paramilitary thing. So, but what you are seeing is that decadence that has been in Nigerian police for a very long time. That is why they will tell them that if you see any policeman asking you for bribe on the come and report, and you still see them the following day,
still asking
for bribe. They will tell you that don't no more looking for tinted glasses and checkpoints and things like that. You still see them blatantly disregarding the. In fact, there has been viral videos showing policemen say, "You are going to report me to the IG." You will see them. They see all manners of things. So that is to tell you the extent to which the police, command structure is rotten. You even see signals being put, on Twitter, on things like this are supposed to be security. They are supposed to be securitized in such a manner that you don't breach it easily. We are talking of instruction from the IG to a command, and you see it on Twitter, you see it on Facebook. That tells you that something is very, very wrong with that.
Is it deeply rotten that it cannot be fixed or it cannot be cleaned up?
No. See, I think that it must start from the head. To start with, the IGP himself is a controversial figure. The manner of extension of his tenure is riddled with controversy. So I believe that within the police, there are a lot of personnel who are angry that, extending his tenure is cutting short their own career path. You understand? So definitely you are going to have people who are disgruntled within the system. So they may just be one of those people working against him.
Yeah, but this rotten thing you're talking about in the ranks of the police force, didn't just start with the present IGP.
No, it didn't. It's a successive thing. But you see, sometimes you can always have a break in such continuum. If you have somebody that shows enough will and, given the kind of presidential backing you have. So for me, I think President Tinubu should, beyond just making this directive, I think he should take a second look on, at the continued stay of IGP. That is, if he shows that he can't pass muster, then he should boot him out of the place and get a younger element to do what is necessary. We are talking of insecurity here.
0807 777 9927. And then what becomes of the VIPs if the police is taking off them?
I think the VIPs can take care of themselves very well. Yeah, exactly. They can take care of themselves. And anyway,
wouldn't that
escorts.
But let's just, because we're all Nigerians and we must be on the lookout for ourselves. Now, if we take out the police escorts from them, are we not exposing them to?
No, we're not exposing them to anything.
In a way, I'm just asking. So that somebody out in the street will be like, okay, are we not? Is it not in a way of shifting the attention of some of these criminal elements from ordinary Nigerians to them?
The presidential directive.
All right.
On the one hand, in fact, there are two legs to it. The presidential directive said, equally provided for
options,
NSCDC and some other forest guard. For those who stay around the forest area, they can hire the forest guard. They can offer, vigilantes can offer that. If they can even go to OPC, they could. No, they can hire him. After all, who guards the house? Are they not this Megad? So they can upgrade the Megad now, put them, you can use them as personal escorts too. You understand? So you see, but I'm just trying to be comic. But you see, let them feel a pinch of what we have been feeling. You see, there was a situation in Brazil once, and we have been calling that this is going to happen. A situation where you have exceptionally wealthy few with a majority of very poor, indigent, and angry people. Now they are going to feel the brunt of what we've been saying. That is what has been there. It's been in Nigeria for a very long time. Now they are going to feel the pinch of all those policies. So they will understand when we say that, look, when you participate in undermining a system just so as to grow wealth, at the end of the day, it will come down to hurt you, because the insurgency is very clear now that they are not safe. You understand? You see, what the president is trying to do is to cut that insecurity to save everybody. But they are insisting it's trying to save their own neck. That is the thing. So, but we cannot have them, undermine a system that wants to save everybody.
Do you think is that the outcry of Senator Ningi?
Well, I can't really say. I don't know his intention, but his comment appears to have some merit. Even though I think that the legislative core are part of the problem. You understand? Yeah, he made the right call that it appears selective because they are very visible. These are very visible public office holders. So anywhere they go, of course, definitely you see them. So that's the first place people will look at if to measure. They took off the bunch of police people guarding them. So definitely they are feeling the pinch. But his observation is quite apt that it is quite selective. You have ministers, you have a lot of people in the executive arm that are still going around with police.
Sorry to watch. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Kenny calling from Tanke.
Okay.
Could you say that for us again, please?
This is Kenny calling from Tanke.
Okay, Kenny from Tanke. Please go ahead with your comment.
You see, I was reading through the news concerning what we were discussing overnight, what Nengi said. And sincerely speaking, I would say probably it's the selection of English that is disturbing our lawmakers. Because I could remember vividly when the president gave that order then to the IGP, he said VIPs. And when you're talking about VIPs in this country, it encompasses a lot of people, even the minister, the lawmaker, and so on. But when he was saying this, you see, it is just like what you build. Now, you are afraid, the house you build, you are afraid of sleeping in it. That is what is happening. Because when the issue of insecurity started, most of them are already scared of walking freely. And Nengi that he's talking, can Nengi walk freely in the north? And what has been his contribution to the north? And this is what he's saying. You see, our politicians, they try to orchestrate a lot of issues that will now affect the masses. Now, I was listening to another news overnight again, where the former governor of Kaduna State, Erukai, was saying something. He said the removal of Ganduje from APC and the removal of the chief of defense staff, now bringing in another chief of defense staff, that it's a point of that the government doesn't want a Muslim Northerners. You can see it's orchestrating something again. Now, the North, some people that are loyalists will not dwell on that. I'm saying it. So, what Nigeria is saying is it's trying to bring out something from the North. It's trying to bring out something from their own side that this thing is not. And now the president came out again and said, okay, fine. If this is what you're saying, if you say we don't understand this English, then the ministers have to be strict. What is that they need? We have NSCTC, we have to go to defense staff, we have OPC staff, we have everything. You can go in this, even the private body builders. You can use them as a private personnel. If it means Ninja can, it means myself can hire a police map, I will not do it for myself. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much.
As a matter of fact, let's not forget that viral video of Matawale. Visit to Zamfara. The retinue.
Bello Metawale.
Bello Metawale, the Minister of State for Defense.
For Defense, yes.
He's traveled to Zamfara, and the amount of personnel, military, police, all manners of paramilitary paraphernalia surrounding just one person, a minister, going back to Zamfara. Zamfara that he was a governor, where he was a governor. So it tells you that, you see, these people, they create a mess, and the system, gives them some kind of cushion, protects them from the mess they have created. Now, I think that Ningi, we should take the good part of Ningi's, call out, which is that thing must be applied, that policy must be applied across board. You understand? Strip some of these ministers of this protection. Maybe one police officer, and that's all. Or, no, we don't even know. All police officers should be taken away to do core policing work. Then we can have an SCDC, and perhaps the forest guards. Then, if possible, all these vigilantes that have been, training, there are some very good vigilantes that have proper training, like you have in the southeast. Have very good, so they can upgrade those people to start, protecting the ministers and wherever they go,
All right.
And again, sorry, if I may, there was this example that was given by Peter Obi, when he was governor. He said that he had police orderlies. Then, if he has to travel to Abuja, he looked at the cost of putting all those police orderlies, in his, in his budget from Anambra State to Abuja. So what he decided to do was that, look, it is me they want to see in Abuja. So he books a flight. Then he will talk to the through the police commissioner to the IG to provide him security from airport to where he's going. That is cutting costs and allowing the police to do their work. So he keeps the one that is in Anambra, keeps them there, and he travels alone. So you see, there have been very good examples all over the places. You understand? And in any case, I sincerely don't understand why these guys are afraid. After all, some of us are here. We've been talking on air, and we know some of the things we say doesn't go that way with a lot of people, and we're still walking free because he that is down needs fear no fall. That is as simple as that. So that is why we tell people who go into offices that you see, at the end of the day, if you are straightforward, everybody will know you are straightforward. Nobody will come for you.
All right. 0807-777-9927. Again, 0807-777-9927. Let's touch on another story. Let's go to Osun State, where Governor Adeleke has secured the Accord Party's governorship ticket for the 2026 Osun election after emerging as the sole candidate in the party's primary held on Wednesday in Osogbo. Out of 150 accredited delegates, 145 valid votes were recorded, all in his favor.
Well, that is quite that should be expected. You don't forget that he resigned from the People's Democratic
PDP.
Yeah.
And there were some attempts at going to
the APC.
The APC that are that was scuttled. But you see, from history, from what I have seen over the years, what he has done is a very very dangerous gambit. That's the simple truth. Yes, from the
how dangerous,
that he could lose in the election. Yeah, you see, sometimes we often think that personality matters. Sometimes political structure matters too. You see, currently, what it simply means is he's going to be denied the structure of two very strong parties. The few times where that has happened, the governor.
Sorry, please
Okay.
Hold on a little bit.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Shitta. I'm calling from Songo.
All right, Shitu, please go ahead with your comment.
Yes. On the issue of police, sometimes our leaders, they will just look at us. They will throw one conversation that will keep us busy. If they withdraw the police attached to VIP, then what would they be doing? Because for countries that what they needed and doing, we need to for American citizens. I'm still waiting for AIG that will come out and say that and do the talk and this number of police we need to secure. But rather, they're talking about we are going to withdraw. How many are they in number? You see, we need total restructuring in police sector. Go to their barracks or police stations. You see how disorganized people are. When you go...
Shitu, do we still have you there?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
You can talk about how can these people, the way they talk, they don't talk smart, they don't look smart, highly disorganized. These people going to secure this nation. Today we are talking about colonial master, they did this to what they do to. What is it that the colonial master do to Africa, did not do to South Asia countries? Go to Nepal, go to Cambodia, go to small Asia countries, see how organized their police are. Despite lack of resources. But in Nigeria, we always look somewhere else to blame instead of looking at ourselves and think about how we are going to do something good or something better. I said it yesterday. Everybody said about apartheid in South Africa. Ever since they hand over to black, what have they used that country to do? The former president, serious issue of corruption. Ramaphosa is here now. They are complaining about bad roads in South Africa. So when it comes to black Africa, you see, until we think as a people that our leaders, they don't do what we wanted, before we can see, breakthrough to what we deserve.
All right.
That is my comment this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think, Nicholas, I think you should pick it up from, the South African apartheid and then return to, black South Africans. Maybe just walk us through the dark days of the apartheid. For real, and why South Africans were truly against it.
Yeah, well, you see, you only need to experience what apartheid means to really understand, how bad things were. You see, apartheid in itself, what it means is apartness. That is being apart. That there will be segregation. Where whites are, blacks must not come there. You understand? Then it means that the black must not marry the white and white not marry black. You
They must never get on the same bus.
Yeah, exactly. Must not get
They
on
might
the
not go to the
same
same supermarket.
Then when you talk of in terms of opportunities, job opportunities, the
They can
blacks
have the
are
same.
discriminated against. Now you see, like I don't know whether you heard what I said yesterday. You see, the policy, the philosophy, the logic behind apartheid is, the assumption that the black man is not human, that you are less than human, a little bit above ape, and they will give you scientific theories that backs their claim. Mr. Shito, maybe in your spare time, you can go and watch this movie called Django. Yeah, Django.
That's DJANGO.
Yeah, I think it's a new. It's an old movie, but go and watch it. There was at some point DiCaprio, who played a plantation.
Leonardo DiCaprio
who played that role of a plantation owner and slave owner, was arguing with a white emancipator, a white man that is on the part of stopping the slave trade, and was saying that, look, he put the skull of a black man. He said, look at the way the skull of the black man is. It is shaped in such a way that it is subservient, that this part of the head, is formed in such a way that it makes the black man submissive. That is why they are fitted to be slaves. And that thing, he said, is not fiction. There used to be a time when scientists in the around 14th, 18th century think that black men are meant to be subjugated. So if you're here saying that, this apartheid thing, what have we done with our freedom and things like that, then that is the extent to which the white man degraded the black man. So you cannot think that, you cannot expect that such thinking will just end with the end of slavery and colonialism. You understand? But in as much as that is not an excuse, but we need to understand where we are coming from and where we are and why we are here. You understand? Of course, there are leadership issues too.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Michael?
Okay, this is Michael.
Yes. Please go ahead.
So on the VIP issue, I think the president made a mistake. What I was expecting him to do yesterday was to first issue the IGP a query. Issue him a query because the directive was given, and even if you don't understand the clarity of the directive, you would have gone back there to get it right. I'm waiting for a second directive or reminder, VVIP or VIP. When we talk about VIP, we are talking about ministers, senators, celebrities, and the rest. Now, it's very clear and unambiguous. So to me, I felt the president was supposed to issue a query and maybe through the minister of police and let him answer. Then, having said that, going to Osun, I think just like the analyst said, the Osun state governor is gambling. Because you remember the last election, there's a margin of, I think, about 15,000 thereabouts between the APC and PDP. And remember, he was once in APC. It was because as a result of they didn't give him ticket, he went to PDP. And he was able to win in PDP because PDP was already established. It's an established structure. So you can't underestimate the power of a structure. Well, we all wait to see how he navigates through the ocean that he has found himself. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Yeah. Well, he says we hope he can swim through this ocean.
Yeah, I was even building to certain analogies. If you Malakachala in the first that is 1999, 2023, Malakachala of Borno State. He was he moved out of APP at that time and joined AD. You understand? He lost to his somebody who was his godfather, and that is Ali Mudu Sheriff. Yeah. Another instance was Mbari Nuju. When the structure of PDP was taken from him, he still went to that AD and he lost. So there are histories to show that kind of gambit doesn't pay off. And Accord Party, it appears it's been around for a while, But, we must give something to Adeleke too. The Adeleke family is a political movement and structure on its own. It has, over the years, they have built their structure, they have built a name. So perhaps that is what is leveraging on. Then again, we must equally also know too that APC is fractures in itself. Don't forget that there was an omission, and there is a certain factor that people are not talking about. Exactly what is Adedayo going to do? Nobody is saying anything about that. So, like I said, for me, giving precedence, it doesn't look too good for him. But
so
again,
you think he should have stayed with the PDP?
You see, I don't know what happened. I think from the beginning, he didn't play his game right. He didn't play the game right. So if he had played the game right, we wouldn't be talking about, leaving the PDP. We wouldn't be talking about the issue of, APC. I think if he had played the game right from the start, he wouldn't be in this problem. He'll be talking about a re-election under PDP or probably APC.
So what happens to the House of Representatives in the states, House of Assembly members in the states under his administration?
Well, you see, these are part of the issues that we're talking about.
Where
these
do
are
they
part
move
of,
to? Are they moving, with the governor?
Not likely.
No.
Osun is not like, they are not, politically, they are not monolithic in their thinking. It's, every man for himself. And they have their followers, strong followers,
Well, also as part of that, former APC National Secretary Senator Ilorin has declared his support for former Managing Director Bola Bamiji, who has been endorsed by President Bola Tinubu as the party's consensus candidate for Osun 2026 elections.
Yeah, these are part of part of the things we were talking about. We used to talk about the former governor trying to make a comeback.
That's Oyetola, right?
Oyetola. We have that one. Nobody's saying anything about him. Is he happy? Is he unhappy? We don't know. You understand? And don't forget, like I said, Omishori, the Ife
block.
The Ife block. But how strong is he politically these days? Because you see, when you are out of, visibility, you understand, in politics, it's a very dangerous thing. People take, nature opposes vacuum, especially in politics. So definitely things like that will happen. But it's like a complete mix. We don't even know exactly which direction is to go. But again, if incumbency factor is anything to go by, and I sincerely hope that we have a free and fair election, we might have some upset. We might have an upset in the Osun State election that is coming.
All right. Well, because of time, we may not be able to discuss, any other interesting story. But again, there's something coming out from River State. Governor Simla Efubara said that, he suffered a whole lot during the process, that brouhaha, that he can't even say or express himself. And then he moving to the APC has nothing to do with, the state, but rather for the interests of the state. He went further to say that, in fact, he has not met with the Speaker of the House since the expiration of the suspension. Well, we'll discuss that tomorrow, if time permits. Thank you so very much. Your closing, thoughts this morning, Nicholas.
Just to remind University of Ilorin that I still have them in my mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll be reminding them every day. So
That's
I'm
good.
still getting calls that things are still not improved. So we'll remind them again tomorrow.
We'll keep saying it. The views expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 as staff therein, but as expressed by our in-house analyst Nicholas Uwerunonye and the individuals who called on the show this morning. Thank you so much for joining us for today. We're back to your ears tomorrow, God willing, from 8 o'clock to 8:30. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
And I am Dayo Adeyemi. Have a fantastic Thursday morning.
You won't want to miss it. We bring the energy, the laughs, and of course the tears that gets you through the day.
Afternoon on FlowFM is where the culture lives. Music, entertainment, and all the gist that you need.
If it's trending, you already know we're talking about it.
Stay locked in, Ilorin. It's FlowFM, baby.
The night's young, the vibes are right, and we are flowing.
At Adedayo, we have taken proactive steps to keep you
ready to
safe
chill?
from every spam
Let's
activity.
go.
Listen anytime, anywhere. Stream us live, call us, send us a WhatsApp message, or just a tap away. Flow FM 92.7. My music, my radio.